Can you tell me a little bit about yourself as a comedian? I believe you are the man as far as impressions.
Yeah. I was reading the bio and it was like they've taken some things from like the Saturday Night Live bio. So I'm like, I don't do Serena Williams. It was just a sketch we did. But now I started out. I saw Eddie Murphy Delirious, his HBO special back in the States when I was back in '82. 83, September '83. I had just turned 13, and that, I told my family that's what I'm going to do, and my family was always supportive. They let me, watch I wasn't a bad kid, so they didn't mind if I watched things with profanity, what have you. And fast forward to '92, and I was in college, and I got in this talent show 2 days prior to the actual show, just on a fluke, and I wound up coming in second place. And after that first bug, once you get that bug, I got chasing that fix, and from there on, I've been a comic now. It's what, 17 and a half years. Fast forward from '92, 3 years later, my first TV show was Def Comedy Jam back in the States. And then I've been doing comedy full time. I've been a stand-up comedian / actor since '97, meaning I've had no other job, sustaining or supporting me. Because you at some point you have to. I remember Steve Harvey said you can't serve two masters, and so if you want to focus on what you want to do, or do you want to work on something else while you're trying to focus, and the energy winds up competing, so I just sort of lined up as many gigs as I could for about 2 or 3 months, and of course 80% of them fell through, but I had a little savings, money saved up, and struggling actor or comedian, struggling artist in New York City. I didn't have a family at the time, so I could eat like one, sandwich for the day, and okay, I'll eat half and lunch, half evening, and things, started, I guess, picking up around like '99, 2000. I started, doing like bit voiceover work here and there, and getting like commercial TV work, and then in '01, leading up to Saturday Night Live, I booked a Snickers commercial for that premiered during the Super Bowl and then ran throughout, and I did this my first movie, Marcy X, this movie with Damon Wayans and Lisa Kudrow that took like 4 years to come out. But that was my first like real film role, and then Saturday Night Live. Actually, there's a show back home called Mad TV that wanted me, and then SNL at the same time wanted me, so it was sort of competing between the two. SNL had more history, more of a cachet, so I went with SNL and did it for 2 years. Actually, 9/11 was the anniversary. My first day of work was actually supposed to be September 11, 2001, which was weird because the night before I went to Michael Jackson had his 30th anniversary special at the Garden, so I was all excited on September 11th to wake up. Oh man, I can't wait to tell people great night I had, and then and I watched the towers from my bedroom window. I saw the towers fall. I saw them on fire. Woke up that morning, my wife was pregnant, my first daughter. She had to go to the doctors, and so it was a weird time, and especially having a gig that the dream come true dream gig starting the same day. I remember thinking, do I still have a job? And but we proceeded, and we had the premiere episode with Reese Witherspoon and Alicia Keys and Mayor Giuliani and firefighters and the police officers were all on the stage. It was a great night, because I think people were looking to sort of exhale. People were so like just nervous and fearful and afraid, and so we made, like, we actually won an Emmy that season for the writing on the show, and did the show for 2 years. Released in '03, wound up with a development deal with ABC. The following year, that the show didn't happen, but I bought a house, you know. And since then, just been grinding, you know. I do a lot of, still do the voiceover work. I make sure I do a lot of stand-up touring, as well as like TV shows back home, from all the late night talk shows back home. Shot I'm trying to think, what did I shoot recently? Just shot this independent film called, because you shoot them and then you sort of disconnect from them. April Fools, directed by Imani Shakur. We'll see what happens with that, because the thing, like with the Mars CX with Damon and them, you shoot it and then you have no control, and that's the beauty of stand-up. Like, it's immediate. You know, you go on stage, you know, okay, it's funny there or it sucks. You know, not with me, you know, but you know immediately whether or not it is working, and you get the immediate feedback. With TV and especially film, you'll shoot something and it takes takes forever to come out. Like as a matter of fact, the reason I just got in today, I was supposed to Eddie Murphy. I also, let me aside, they're doing Shrek the Musical is now on Broadway back home, back in the city, and I was part of the show for about a year and a half. I workshopped the show, meaning I was Donkey, and I helped create the character and took what Eddie Murphy did in the movie and then actually brought it to life on stage, as far as singing and adding like nuances and what have you. They released 75% of the cast, you know, which is fine. Still get paid for it. And from that, Jeffrey Katzenberg and crew at DreamWorks asked me to do like whenever Eddie Murphy isn't available to do things attached to Donkey, be it scheduling conflicts or because he just doesn't want to. So they're doing a new Shrek animated holiday special for Halloween that will come out fall of 2010. That they had me do Donkey for. So it's like you stayed busy. People always ask, well, what are you doing? Which is natural. Even friends of mine, they're like, well, so are you still a comedian? Because it's sort of out of sight, out of mind if they don't see you on the television. And they're like, you still sticking with that thing? I'm like, yeah, Mel Brooks told me years ago, he was like, this in an entertainment career, you got peaks and valleys, you know. And he was saying, being married to Anne Bancroft, that there were times when Anne was hot and Mel cooled off, and there were times he was hot and Anne cooled off. But in a career, you have that sort of trajectory of the highs and lows, and I'm not even in a low. It's just a matter of being out in front of the worldwide consciousness, you know, as opposed to behind the scenes doing voiceover work, because no one's gonna know unless they read the credits. And if Eddie Murphy at the last minute says, you know what, I feel like doing the voice on that one, I don't want nobody to, then they're gonna say, well, Dean, you got paid, you know. But I want it to air with me as part of it, because that's something will be in his, you know, it's a Halloween special, so it's gonna run forever. It'll be something I can say to my kids, and my kids will be able to say, oh, that's Grandpa, you know, what have you. So yeah,
that'd be a nice production to have behind you. So. Yeah,
you know, I mean, it's nice to say, but even saying it now, I'm almost reluctant, because I know in the industry that that's just the nature of the business. And then what happens is people are like, I thought you said you were gonna be done, and then you see Eddie Murphy. I'm like, hey man, well I did my part, you know, and put it forth. That's why I have stand-up they can't take from me. You know, I'm on stage. I'm here. When I got in earlier, they said, "How was your flight?" I said, "Look, I landed. You know, that's a great flight. If I didn't have to jump off a raft and slide down, that's a great flight for me." So.